I just want to make sure that I can do
Muted.
that with this solution called VisTrack. And we're going to have some special pricing available to you. He'll be telling you about that too. And so we have a partner relationship. As you know, there's a community of Goldmine Solutions partners and some add-on products. And we work together to bring our customers a complete solution. No one product really, in any case, does it all. But putting these pieces together, you have a very complete solution. And without Intelliclick, and I think now VisTrack, without those solutions added to your Goldmine product, you're missing a very important component of business development or customer service and how it interfaces with the internet and email. So without any further ado, here is Steve, and let me go ahead and unmute him. Steve, you should be able to give a sound check right now.
Yes, hopefully you can hear me. Is it clear?
You're loud and clear. Thank
Excellent.
you, Steve. I'm gonna mute my phone just for the same reason I gave. So if you need me, just give me a second to take it off mute. Go right ahead, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, Bob. Well, thank you very much, and thank you very much for those kind words and support of our product. And we actually appreciate the efforts and everything First Direct has done over the many years. We've worked very closely with them in supporting a lot of clients they have using Intelliclick. And as Bob mentioned, we're very excited today that we are bringing now to the market something that we've had a lot of our customers asking for, which is really to help them really do better with their search engine optimization, start to really get a good handle on who's on their website, who's visiting, ideally get them converted into their system and become valuable leads that they can pursue. And so we've overlaid some capabilities to our email marketing and web navigation system to bring VisTrack, which starts to deal with anonymous visitors. And I will briefly, during our presentation, speak to and show a little bit about Intelliclick for those of you who have never seen the product or even maybe heard of us. And then I will then move into a bit more specifically and spend most of the time today talking about VisTrack and our anonymous website visitor conversion tool. So our plan for our presentation today is we'll start with this brief overview and demonstration, a very short demonstration of just Intelliclick itself. We'll talk just a little bit about inbound marketing and why it's so popular and so much front and center in the marketing world today in terms of what benefits it brings. And of course, we'll talk more specifically about how VisTrack can really help you take advantage of that capability in the marketplace to leverage your CRM and to do a very good job of pursuing leads that have been converted into known visitors. We'll walk through a small little demonstration, just show you some of the ways that you can apply our tool to your website. And then we'll look at just the way we price it. We do have a very special offer that we are going to be making today, so definitely stick around and you'll be hearing about the offer that we have for people who are here on our presentation today. And then we'll open it up for any questions and answers, and certainly Bob, appreciate your help just in facilitating if people are posting questions that you feel would be beneficial for the audience to hear about. We'll also respond to any of those offline separately as well if more details or things are needed beyond that point. So I'm just going to briefly speak to Intelliclick. There are we're going to speak to about 10 points of differentiation that really make our product different than what many of you may be either used to using or know about in the marketplace. And the first one is that it is tightly integrated to Goldmine and uses your information and data directly from your database. You don't need to output or export and put it to any other outside servers. So it is both secure, but most importantly, it's up to date. You don't have to update lists in other places to be sure they're right before you execute campaigns. The other important thing is that we make sure that everything that you see and get is all real-time actionable data. So there's nothing you need to do to get the information back to Goldmine. It is fully automated, and we have a lot of information that's very actionable in the way we both report on it and in the way we give you interactive capabilities as people react to your campaigns. So you'll see that a little when I do my quick overview demo. One of those is our one-click call to action. So we do give you the ability to have people instantly receive literature, ask for you to take action with them. And so we really make a nice quick connection between your personnel and the people who are receiving the email campaigns you're sending them. So that interactivity starts to give you an opportunity to be very proactive and responsive in a timely way. Alerts, another way to really engage your salespeople or engage others in your organization. Our tool allows you to set up both email or text message alerting, and that's instantaneous. So a click can on a specific page link to a specific campaign let someone know that they need to take action. The alerts can be dynamic. It can be specific to who's assigned to the account. So it can be very relevant to the person that needs to take that next step. Now, we've had in our product known website visitor tracking since day one. So we've always been able to tell you what pages people are looking at, where they've gone after the first time they get to your site from any email campaign. That tracking continues to occur ongoing, so they don't need to do anything other than return to your website days, weeks, or months later, and you continue to receive that information, and it all tracks back to the last campaign that put them there. So we're really trying to help you see and measure which campaigns and what activity is driving the behavior, and most importantly, prioritizing who's most interested in what you're trying to sell. From an analytics perspective, we give you the ability to run reports right from inside of Goldmine. We have some very powerful dashboards, so we leverage the Goldmine dashboard capability, but we also give you the ability to receive reporting automated. So you can ask for it to come on a set schedule. You can define who gets those reports, and that will then be generated and automatically pushed out to you on a regular interval. So another way to make sure you're staying in touch with that information. We try to make sure, too, we've learned over the years that it's really very easy to allow sometimes the database to not always stay quite the way it needs to be in terms of the validity of your emails. Now, validity can be both format of email addresses, but also whether they're even a deliverable email. Do they continue to exist? So we have tools that will scrub your database to make sure that the email formats and that we help you verify that you do have good email data integrity, but we also have services we provide you to verify and know what part of, or your entire database if you wish, is valid, good emails to send. We help you flag the ones that aren't so that you stay out of the possible trouble of being blacklisted and things by having too many hard bounce emails over time, which can affect your reputation, can lead to blacklisting and all kinds of nasty things along the way. We include an online HTML editor with a very, both the robust editor and a fairly large template gallery that has 700 plus templates available for you as a start point. So for those who aren't really acquainted with HTML and want a very quick and simple way to start, we do offer a fairly nice library, and that is one good start point. But if you have HTML that you've been using in other places, it's all usable within both Goldmine and Intelliclick as far as being able to apply tracking. So you don't have to use it, but it's something we do provide and make it easy to get started with. Now, in terms of opt-in and opt-out, so spam legislation, of course, requires that you make it very easy if people do not want to be on your mailing list any longer. Our tool does provide a one-click opt-out. It immediately updates their email address with a flag to be sure it's excluded on future sends. We don't touch your email address formatting or anything. It's still usable if you want to send one-off emails to people, but we do flag it so that our tool knows not to load them on future sends. But because we have the ability to do various types of updates into the Goldmine system, both in terms of fields and for those of you acquainted with email merge codes, that's where you could take advantage of subscription management for opting into various types of mailings through a merge code update. and you can apply that to any click so that certain codes can be applied, and you can then distinguish what people receive, things like newsletters or other types of communication you might want to allow them to subscribe to. And finally, the 10th differentiator is that we make sure day one we start off with instructor-led training. Typically our product provides 2 90-minute sessions. We'd really try and give you some very good hand-holding on taking advantage of all its capabilities, making sure that you get your first campaign out the door successfully. We also will make sure to help you understand the reports and how to best analyze and measure the results of those first campaigns. And we bring along, over the years that we've built up a lot of knowledge, things like content marketing and different strategies to really help you learn effective ways to get to the inbox, whether it's effective subject lines or in the manner in which you might structure your messaging. So a lot of that is part of that initial 2-session instruction that comes along with the purchase of our product. So what I'm just going to do now is just quickly toggle over to Goldmine and just briefly just show you a few of the highlights of some of the things I just mentioned. As far as Intelliclick itself, for those of you who already are using our product, this is just a very quick little overview. Maybe there'll be a few nuggets of new information you might pick up as well. For those new to the product, hopefully you'll find this very enlightening. So you'll notice that right now I have a tab called ClickTrack. This is something we add into your Goldmine system as part of the installation and setup of Intelliclick, and this is where all the information flows as people are reacting and responding to your campaigns. You'll notice that we're tracking when the message was actually sent and to whom. We do support primary and additional contacts, so everything is tied back to the specific person and their email as things are being sent and tracked. We can tell you not only when they open messages, but what pages they click through, and we take advantage of the ability in Goldmine to display that information nicely right here, so that as you might go through and look at these various clicks, you can see the specific page. Web navigation will tell you all those subsequent page views, where they moved around to as they go through it. And of course, Goldmine makes it very easy to sort by all these different columns if you want to sort of look at this in some kind of a nice sequence. I will show you momentarily, though, reports and dashboards that really assemble all the information into some very meaningful analytics as well. But the ClickTrack tab is by default where we put information. There's an option if you wish to have certain things right to the History tab. So for those of you who might want some or even all of the click information to also show up in History, it is an option that you can turn on, but by default we suppress History so that we don't clutter that area with all the other information you're already storing there as you're working through it with your client. Now the other thing that we now have introduced, and I'm going to just quickly launch the Intelliclick Wizard. The Intelliclick Wizard is actually the piece that you as a user use to set everything up, both in terms of creating the campaigns and putting the various type of tracking behavior you want to have it take. It also provides access to the sender. It provides you access to your HTML editor when you need to pop into your account and access that to work on different things. And as we've just added in our latest release, which I'm going to show you in a moment here, it has now the ability to add workflow automation. This was an exciting piece we've just introduced as of January, where you can actually see the, or you can apply Goldmine automated processes through workflow automation. And so the wizard, which does give you a little access to the different modules and menu, makes it easy to go through and in a step-by-step process do that, set up your campaign. I'm only just going to walk through to the point of showing you this latest component, especially for those of you who are some of our existing customers, and make you aware that when you're creating page hyperlinks using the advanced method, we now offer an option in this part of our tool to apply automation. So right here we can now go to the Workflow Automation tab. This is the new thing we've now added. And if you enable it, it will allow you to look at any automated processes you've created in Goldmine and apply it to the click. So what's very powerful is that as you set up a particular hyperlink, so let's say I pick one of the pages we've used in the past, and I have a lot of other behaviors such as internal alert notifications. I can have it update fields with writebacks to either a merge code or a data field. But probably most importantly, I can now apply some workflow automation to a very specific click to both a page and a campaign that I now have underway. So now I'm taking advantage of all that automation that Goldmine internally can generate after the information hits the database, so that it can immediately start to schedule, send out other types of email, put them on drip marketing tracks, all sorts of possibilities. And really, you know, you imagine it, it probably can be done. And I know that First Direct have extensive experience with automated processes and being able to take full advantage of that engine in Goldmine. And now we make that all possible to kick off through a click. So this is an exciting new function and feature that we now have built into the product that we just started with. I was mentioning on the wizard we have our sending module. So Intelliclick is the tool in the engine that allows you to do a few things that Goldmine's own sending capabilities cannot do. So what we do is we make it easy for you to be able to send to actually one or even multiple databases. So we have the ability to support different databases. I do apologize for the slight delay here. I think it's we're doing some things that are checking our servers, and because of the bandwidth of using our internet for all of this on the meeting, it's probably just slowing a little bit the process of it coming back and returning the screen. So I do apologize for just the slight delay you're seeing. That wouldn't be typically the delay you would see when you use the tool yourself. But here's an example where I can make a connection, and if you are in a multi-database environment, we do have some customers who have different databases for different reasons, you are able to use the product, and it does have the ability to uniquely send and track to the different databases. So that is kind of nice. We also give you the ability to quickly update any of the hard bounce data that has been flagged in the past. So this is how we help to keep your database integrity in check and in order after campaigns have been sent from prior campaigns. We'll flag emails that have been flagged and marked through the relay partner we work with. This name now has become smtp.com, so our partner bought Unified Email. They are now, who are a very prominent, by the way, relay partner, are the people that actually are routing your mail should you choose to use the account that we include with our product. Now, as far as sending, it's a simple matter of pointing to any one of your groups. You can isolate down to specific users that have a group built. So it is looking at that data at that moment in time. Whatever group you have in Goldmine, that's the emails that are loaded, but at time of load we've excluded people that are unsubscribed and hard bound. So this is a first important difference from sending with Goldmine itself, is that we're making sure that only people that should receive mailing are being loaded in the first place, and the exclusion of hard bounce and unsubscribe is a very important part of your data integrity, and most importantly for reputation purposes. We have some different flexibilities on what type of templates you use. Most of our customers will either create an HTML file, just a straight file that they can load, but I would say the most common is using just templates that already have been built and set up in Goldmine. And here we allow you to pick and choose, again, by user if preferred, a specific template you would like to load. And once that's loaded, you have the ability to set your own subject lines. You can do analysis on the subject line, so we do have a subject line analyzer. You associate your send to a specific campaign so that we can now give you analytics that tell you based on the number of emails sent out exactly what kind of response rates. We give you various types of possibilities on throughput and sends. So depending on the version of our product or depending on what speed you really need, we have one of our clients sending at 50,000 messages an hour because they send very large sends, over 250,000 emails at a campaign, and they have time sensitivity on those messages, so they needed them to go out in a fairly short time frame. So very powerful options in terms of how fast you can send. We give you the ability to set up unlimited send froms, so you can have all kinds of different accounts that for a different reason you can be sending from for a particular campaign. And then we make sure to include things that Goldmine itself offers, primary and additional, and limiting to email merge codes. And then, of course, you're able to preview your email once it's all ready so that you can actually test it. Test it right here, both on the screen as it's displayed and in the way it's going to show up to your customers. But you can also send test messages to yourself and to other associates. You can check some, do content analysis to verify what type of spam filters might have issue, if any, with the message. And so it really does a nice job of allowing you to really check everything out thoroughly before the campaign goes out the door. So as you can see, a nice simple to follow screen that helps you get mailings out the door. And from that point, once they receive it, it's a simple matter of somebody having the email in their inbox, clicking on the different links, and different behavior is then triggered, whether it's alerts, tracking, and so forth. Once that data flows back to Goldmine, we give you some very nice ways to monitor and quickly be able to take action on the data. So I find the dashboard to be one of the nicest ways to quickly know, have we hit a nerve out there? Have we had some kind of a campaign that is really generating some excitement? And so when we send our campaigns, I'll usually spend the first 30 minutes checking back to this dashboard every 5 or 10 minutes just to see how the numbers are changing. I'm going to go ahead and backdate this a little bit just to be sure we pick up some data. But so it does give you the ability to not just use the current month information, but go back as far as you wish. And once you do that, it displays the campaigns that fall into that time frame and the amount of data that's available to be reviewed. So this actually reads the amount of data that is accumulated in that time period, allows you to pick the campaign, and then very quickly chart it and be able to start drilling down to see the results of the campaign. So this one I'm using happens to have a lot of different behavior we've put in there. Various, as you could see, things like one-click event registrations. We've had literature fulfillment. We had people clicking. We've had all kinds of different things that we've used in that template to really exemplify how powerful the product can be in terms of engaging the audience. But what's nice with this dashboard is it does immediately calculate for you all kinds of success ratios. It allows you to filter down and see in terms of who's done the most clicks. If I drill down, let's say, to the web nav area, so now I'm isolating just navigation behavior. I can see on this campaign over time, we've used certain records many times, so I'm seeing who's had the most clicks in terms of pages, and I can just drill right down to that record and start looking at the specifics of that. So the dashboard's a quick and immediate real-time overview as your campaigns are going out the door. But if you're trying to drill a little bit deeper, we do give you a lot of good analytical reports that provide you a lot of good background. And the one that's my favorite is the one we call our success ratio and tracking detail. This is the one that allows you to measure across as many different campaigns as you wish, doing side-by-side comparisons and really seeing what kind of opportunity and activity is going on based on the campaigns that you've sent. So when the reports run, and this behavior is very similar to all the reports we run, it gives you the ability to pick and choose certain variables at the time you run the report. So the example I'm using here, where I'm going to ask it for results on 3 campaigns currently underway, and let that give me a side-by-side comparison across all 3 campaigns. And what will happen is it will return the statistics that are being read right from inside of Goldmine and give me an initial snapshot right at the beginning showing me a side-by-side comparison of open rates, click-through, page visits. Any behavior that has been measured by the report is visible to you here. But then, of course, you can drill down to the specifics. So if I go to any one of these campaigns, I can drill down and look at the specifics of what people have clicked on. Here are some various click behavior. If I widen this, I can see a little bit more of the specific pages and drill right down to those areas if I'm interested in seeing who has most recently done what, because we summarize for you in date chronological descending order. The web page visits, we offer something very interesting called on-click tracking. So you'll notice a few things here are not web pages, but they're actual names of things like a video or you're seeing something like a white paper or a PDF file that was downloaded. And the name being returned to Goldmine is the name you set on the website of the specific thing they've clicked on your page. So you not only can see where they're moving around on your website, but you can also within a page see what videos they watch, what papers they download. And that gives you, it helps build again a little bit more of a knowledge to prioritize and prepare and arm your salespeople with the right follow-up that they can take based on the knowledge they have ahead of time of what has been done by these prospects and customers. So very, very effective reporting, and we do have many different types of reports, as you can see in our menuing here, but top leads, where we can help you isolate and drill down to the hottest leads based on the frequency and recency of behavior. So lots of different ways to help you drill down and isolate the opportunities and spend the time in the right place. So that gives you just a quick little peek at Intelliclick itself. And so I'm going to speak a little bit more now to the new product, VisTrack, and the whole area of inbound marketing and how we've tried to embellish what our product can help you do when it comes to people who are anonymous visitors coming to your website and starting to revisit you at different points in time. And you know, when we first looked at what we were doing for inbound marketing, we really wanted to make sure we understood ourselves what is meant in the industry by inbound marketing. And it really is kind of the flip side of outbound marketing, which people have been doing for many, many years, things that get you the mass exposure through all kinds of different media. And in many ways, I would put email marketing into that category to a degree, but because you can segment your lists when you do email marketing, you can be a little bit more targeted and try to direct the right messages to the right people, whereas other traditional tools are usually fairly mass and don't necessarily have, it's getting you broad exposure, but doesn't necessarily tell you who's really interested. It's not as easy to measure. On the inbound side, the good news there is that anything that you're measuring, and ultimately if you're converting people, you're really reaching people that are looking for you. They're seeking you out, and it's at a point where they're looking for the type of solutions you offer. So your chance of turning that into business is going to be much higher. And so VisTrack is really designed to try to take those people, convert them into an actual known visitor, bring them into your system immediately, and allow you to now take action with various ways that you can follow through, whether it's alerting people. We do have the ability at the time of capture to instantly do the same alerts through email and text message. Fully using automation and automated processes can trigger certain things to occur the moment they come in, whether that puts them on a marketing track or whether it adds them to a group and puts them into your next targeted mailings. All these things can be driven directly and immediately as the visitor converts through the different forms that you offer up on your website. So the three areas that we try through VisTrack to help you is both we have some impact with the attracting of visitors, although we're going to talk about what that makes up the attracting of visitors, conversion, and then finally closure. And Goldmine as a tool is really designed to help you do exactly that, close business by keeping your salespeople on track, keeping your marketing activities on track to try to bring people along the sales cycle and move them through the pipeline to ultimately, hopefully, a sale. So how do the things we do help you in those three areas? Well, in the area of attracting, some of it is going to be things you're already doing today if you're using blogs and social media and getting help with how well your site is optimized to be found through the search engines, so forth. That would all fall into the things that your web administrators are doing. But with our email marketing and website tracking, we could start showing you who it is that is being attracted to things you're putting out there, whether it's the initial communications that you send or the ongoing behavior as they return to your site and revisit things to start showing you where their true interests lie. From a conversion perspective, there's a few different elements and tools we provide to help you there. Content is going to be, of course, something you're going to be developing and driving from your side because you have the best knowledge of your products and services and the best way to make sure that information gets disseminated. But with some of the things we offer, we can help you with web forms. And when I say we, our partners such as First Direct are in an extremely good position to assist with that. They have a lot of expertise. Jay there has done an amazing job with all kinds of web forms with clients we've worked with of theirs, and so definitely something that is there for them to help. We've embellished web forms to be able to not only use Goldmine Web Import as a way to get data to Goldmine, but we also have the ability to drive it through the same process that tracks people's clicks and web navigation, so that it can seamlessly take a form, bring it in, add them to your database, and trigger the next things to take place. Other things I've mentioned before, the call to actions and things that we can help you with to facilitate how people ultimately convert and get to your system, also part and parcel of the different tool set that Intelliclick offers and brings to the table. Now, Goldmine, as I mentioned, as a CRM system, its real reason for existence is to help you manage your customer relationships, whether it's before they become a customer or once you finally have them signed up. But CRM is clearly what that is all about. Goldmine has a very robust capability. It has been around for a long time. I would say it stacks up with the best of them in all the types of capabilities a CRM system brings. But what we try to do with our tool set is leverage some of those capabilities, whether it's the workflow automation or some of the other aspects of getting the right data into your database so that you can effectively segment, target, and start to track as you go through your follow-on marketing with people based on those results. And the idea, hopefully, is that it shortens the time frame that you get to closure on business. Just briefly on the initial website visits, when we do track people for you, from the moment you add our coding to the site, we're immediately able to start telling you who's coming to your site directly or using different search engines, what engines brought them there initially, what engines are continuing to bring them back. If you use pay-per-click campaigns, we can track the actual campaign and return for you in your reports different measurements on a specific campaign, pay-per-click campaigns. But of course, most of the ways people are going to come to your site are either through the most common things like organic search, social media, if you're using a lot of things where people are coming through Facebook, LinkedIn, all that gets measured and tracked for you on an ongoing basis, even while they're anonymous. And of course, that gets all matched up to who they are the moment they identify themselves through some type of a form submission on your site. In terms of lead conversion, obviously offering up different types of forms on your site are going to be the best way to do it, and giving them reasons. And I'll show a very quick example in a moment on one of the ones we actually use, which is a best practice white paper that we make available once they give us a little bit of information in return for that access. But forms that you may already have on your website can be coded. We will provide that coding to your web administrators to apply to help that occur. So it doesn't mean you have to build things from scratch. If you have existing forms, definitely they can be used. If you have none, we can provide samples that can be modified on your side to what exactly you need it to handle as far as capturing information. The forms, when you're using the coding we provide, will either add new contacts to your system, or if they already exist in your database based on an email address, it will update the information. It can still trigger actions to be taken, automated processes to occur, so it works both with existing or adding new to the system along the way. And then we do have some specialized reporting specific to this type of analytical behavior, or this type of capturing and conversion behavior. So let me just move over to Actually, I will speak just briefly on the workflow automation. I forgot I did want to mention that the workflow automation I'm speaking about with our product is taking advantage of Goldmine automated processes. The nice thing is that you can literally drive a different process from each and every form you have on your site. Same thing is with a web or with an email click. That can drive a different process for each campaign or each page you choose to set that behavior on. So you can be very, very specific on what automation is being used for what purposes. I would say the majority of people who are using it, drip marketing is probably the biggest reason they take advantage of workflow automation. But you can also have it building groups. Groups is the basis for you to segment and send through Intelliclick, and so having things automatically build those groups for you makes it nice and easy to be ready for future campaigns. So I'm just going to move over now back to Goldmine for a moment, and let's speak to this. As a matter of fact, what I'm actually going to do is let me just move over to our website here, and I want to just we'll start right from our home page. So I'm just visiting now the home page as an anonymous visitor, and I'm going to just click around a little bit to look at a few things to just generate a little bit of behavior. So here we have a little bit of information about the product and the different forms of integration that we offer. You know, we'll move over here, take a look at some of the comparisons we provide to show the power we offer versus some of our competitors. For those of you who maybe never visited our site, we do have a try it where you can experience some of this by having an email sent to you or actually displayed on screen, and you can immediately see what it would be like as a recipient with some of the behavior that we can demonstrate to you. We do offer, of course, different webinars, but it's nowhere near the same as the type of webinar we're doing today. And I'm just going to move down here, and at this point let's imagine that somebody decides they want to get access to our white paper. And so we're going to bring up a little form that can allow this conversion to occur. I'm just going to go ahead and use today one of my favorite characters, Mickey, who is at Disney. And we'll just grab his email, grab his phone number, and we'll go ahead and submit. So with that little submission, which is now in the process very shortly of taking the information that and this behavior and converting that information along with Mickey and adding Mickey to the database, you'll notice here we just have a nice little way to sort of thank them, and then here this would take them to the best practice page that's only accessible from that window, which can only appear if they complete the form. Now, what should be happening in the background over here in Goldmine, and I'm just going to take a look and see if we have some behaviors. Now, one of the behaviors we did set up here was the ability to have certain types of alerts and email generated at time of click. I think this was a different one done earlier, but you are able to have people instantly alerted at the time somebody does convert from the site and have that sent along to your internal staff. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can just pull up and look up Disney. And so there is Mickey now in our database. So Mickey has shown up in the database as of now, and you could see the behavior was right at this time where there was a time and day that the record was created right here, and then some of the different pages that led up to this. So you're seeing that Mickey was on the home page, looked at the demo or the Intelliclick for Goldmine, and what we capture is where he came from. So we indicate the referring page. In this case, because it was navigation within the site, it just shows that the referring page. But had he come to that page initially from LinkedIn or from Facebook or was referred from another site entirely, that referring site would be there. And in some of our reporting, we break that all out for you so you can see not only where these people are looking, but what's driving their behavior, what's getting them to your website. Again, this is all within the site, showing you which pages they move to and from, and of course that's all going to be captured in some of the reporting that we provide for this. It does allow you to have it immediately attach that process. I was saying workflow automation. So this does go ahead and attach the process. My form actually, we've set it to fill certain information here, which a process can then read, and based on some of that information, take appropriate action. With Intelliclick, another thing that those processes can do is, for instance, assign salespeople. And in this case, if I assign my salesperson, it also makes sure that the corresponding rep information is updated. So something, if you haven't taken advantage of the Goldmine Lookup Any file, it's a very powerful way to keep information in sync with what you're assigning in your database. But more importantly, our emails that go out can use this to dynamically alert the person, whether it's a text message, whether it's scheduling actions, in this case to John, or an email. All of that can dynamically occur based on the proper person that has been assigned to the account. That can be in turn handled through automated processes. So if you think of the flow from the website into your database, correct assignment, further follow-up beginning through either drip marketing or actions scheduled to people to take, email alerts to immediately engage the right people, all of that starts to give you a leg up on the competition in that you're responding and reacting to these visitors in a timely way. And really with sales, timing typically is everything. So that's just a quick look at it. I did mention that we do have reports tied into this, our anonymous visit summaries. I think this is an interesting one, the contact added one. So once conversion occurs, and we can now give you that information about them. So this is an example of Mickey, and because he came straight to the website, there was no referring page. So it's saying that it was access directly to the home page, but it's also showing you now if Mickey were to come back and continue to browse any of these pages or new pages, it would continue to build that information and give you more intelligence about these new people that have been added to the system. So what's nice about this report is it really helps you look at these new people and quickly identify what behavior led up to them even starting to show interest and identify themselves to you. So very powerful way to go with that. To respect our time and leave some time for questions, I'm just going to move back over here to our presentation and briefly speak to the pricing. And the pricing I'm speaking to is our most popular version, which is the standard version of Intelliclick. This is one which is our full-featured version of the email, the known website visitor and email marketing platform that ties to Goldmine. And so what we do is we give you a full set of features. As you can see, all the things I mentioned earlier on are all part of the feature set that comes with the product. It does also include the HTML template editor and account. It gives you an SMTP relay account for sending so that we try to give you good deliverability through a very reputable outside delivery service, and also more importantly making sure you don't have to use your own email servers and domains to be exposed out to the outside world. On the SMTP side, our base account starts with 10,000 emails a month, but that can be added to if you need more. So that is a volume of total emails across all campaigns that can be sent in the standard account. The price point for our product has a one-time $1,500 installation, provisioning, and those 2 training sessions. So a number of things are done to make sure everything is technically set up, installed, working. We make sure that your account is provisioned with all the outside providers that we use, whether it's the HTML system, whether it's the SMTP relay, or our own system for all the tracking and notification capabilities. The annual subscription on our standard product is $12.50 annually. So it is an annual subscription. It doesn't matter how many Goldmine users you have. It doesn't matter how many people you track. So when you look at most systems out there, they care about how many names you're tracking at any one time, how many you've stored and tracked. With us, there's no limitations. You can track 1,000, 10,000, a million. That does not alter the price. So you can fully use your database and segment it in any way you see fit, and it does not affect the cost to you. It's a firm fixed number annually for the use of this subscription. VisTrack adds a separate element for the anonymous piece, and that has a $1,500 a year annual subscription to help set up all the components and pieces that you put on your website to take and retain all the visitor information, conversion, and all the capabilities. And we are looking to put some very interesting enhancements in the next 6 months to a year on VisTrack so that we'll be able to give you geolocation and hopefully, where possible, converting information on IP addresses that we can identify back to at least company names and identify who's on your site even while they're still in an anonymous state. Now, I did promise that we are going to have something special today to bring to you. So for those of you who don't have Intelliclick yet, you're a new customer, we're going to give you the first year of VisTrack at no charge. We're going to waive that $1,500 subscription, and so in fact you're going to get both Intelliclick and VisTrack for the price of what it would cost to just buy Intelliclick by itself. So this offer is valid through till the end of the quarter or end of March of this year, and so the orders that you would place through First Direct would qualify for the promotion. But I didn't want to leave out those of you who are already existing customers of ours who might be on our presentation today. So for existing customers, we will give you VisTrack free through to your next renewal. So if you have a renewal that falls anytime between now and August of this year, so it's basically for the next 6 months, we are going to waive the cost of that until the renewal date, at which time that renewal fee will apply. Do look for some other special promos to existing customers that may be in play that might be able to be used in combination with this. But this specific promo that we're offering here is for those of you attending today that you can definitely get on board quickly with VisTrack at no charge until your next renewal. So I'm just going to put up our final slide as to who, where, and how you can order the product or get more information. We work very closely with Bob and his entire team as far as responding to questions and things in the pre-sale. Of course, we offer very extensive support post-sale to be sure things are working smoothly at all times. That is always part of the product at all times. There's no extra charge for any of that support. And so, Bob, I'm going to open it up now and see whether you've had any questions asked that we might want to be responding to along the way here.
Well, thank you, Stephen. I'm going to actually stop the recording, which I've been doing at this point, and then I'll continue the conversation.